So there's this weird paradox happening with AI right now, right? You see all this activity, everyone's talking about it, press releases, pilot programs, it's everywhere. But here's the thing. When you look closely, very few organizations are actually seeing real bottom line results. So what's going on? That's exactly what we're going to dig into. And this quote, man, it just absolutely nails it. It basically breaks the whole AI scene into two camps. You got the loud crowd, the ones buying stuff, running pilots. You hear about them all the time. But then there's this other group, the quiet one. And they're not just playing around. They're actually changing how they do business from the ground up. And guess what? They're the ones who are really winning. This visual here just shows you what that journey looks like perfectly. Look over on the left. You've got a whole mob of people starting out, just buying the tools. But as you move along, through the pilots and building things, see how the crowd just gets smaller and smaller? Only a tiny few make it all the way to that last store, actually changing how they work. That's where the magic happens. That's where the real value is. So that leads to the big question, right? If the value isn't just in having the latest tech, where is it actually going? Where is it being created and captured? Because if you can figure this out, you understand the blueprint for how to actually win with AI for the long haul. All right, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to deconstruct all the hype. And the best way to do that is by looking at what's called the AI technology stack. Think of it like a layered cake. It's a framework that lets us see where value is being created. And let me give you a spoiler, the value is not spread out evenly, not even close. So what are we talking about when we say the stack? Well, at its core, it's just a way to organize all the pieces. At the very bottom, you've got your huge, powerful foundation models. Think of that as your flour and sugar. Then you move up to the infrastructure that runs it all. That's the oven. Then you get specific applications built on top. And right at the very top, the unique data, that's the secret family recipe. And here's the key. Each of these layers plays by a totally different set of economic rules, and that changes everything for strategy. Okay, let's dive in, starting at the very bottom of the stack. These bottom two layers get almost all of the headlines, but you're about to see why they're not where the real, defensible, long-term advantage is built. First up, Layer 1, foundation models. You know these names, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic. And look, they're incredible pieces of tech, no doubt about it. But from a business strategy point of view, they're becoming a commodity, fast. You've got open source alternatives getting better every day, and getting a license is becoming pretty standard. So that whole idea that just having the best model is your golden ticket, yeah, that window is closing way quicker than most people realize. Okay, so one level up from the models, you've got the infrastructure. This is the actual plumbing, the backbone of the whole thing. We're talking NVIDIA GPUs, cloud services like AWS and Azure, all the way down to those little chips that make AI work on your phone. But here's the catch. The price tag to play in this space is astronomical. The capital costs are insane, which means only a handful of huge companies can even afford to be in the game. And that consolidation is exactly why you see these giant alliances forming. You know, Microsoft cozying up with OpenAI, Amazon pouring billions into Anthropic. This isn't just about being friends. It's a strategic chess game to control the fundamental infrastructure of AI. For pretty much everyone else, this layer is something you rent, not something you own. Okay, so let's recap. The bottom of the stack is becoming a commodity, and what's left is being locked down by a few giants. So you might be thinking, well, where's the opportunity for me? That's when we have to look up. Let's go to the top of the stack, because this is where things get really interesting. This is where you can actually build something unique and valuable. And this is the big difference. Foundation models are like a Swiss Army knife. They can do a lot of things okay, but vertical applications, they're like a surgeon's scalpel. They're purpose-built for one very specific job, like a tool just for regulatory submissions or software that helps plan a surgery. The value here isn't the AI model itself, it's how perfectly it fits into how a professional actually works. And that makes it super, super hard to replicate. This concept, workflow ownership, it's absolutely crucial. A tool becomes sticky, indispensable, because it's not just sitting on top of the work. It's woven right into the fabric of it. It just gets the specific rules, the weird processes, the trust relationships, everything. You can't just rip it out and plug in some generic AI. It wouldn't work. And that brings us to the very peak of the stack, the data. But hold on, I'm not talking about just scraping the web for information. The kind of data that gives you a real, lasting edge is different. It's specific. It's collected over a long time.
it's structured, and it's high quality enough for regulators. Think about years of data from a medical device or patient results tracked over a decade. This kind of data, this is your castle and your moat. It's the ultimate defense. Why? Because you can't buy it. You can't just copy-paste it. The only way you get it is by being there, in the trenches, in that specific field for years. And that data is what takes an AI tool from nice to have to we literally can't do our jobs without this. All right, so we've worked our way all the way up the stack, so let's pull it all together. When you look at the whole picture, it points to a really simple, but honestly, game-changing conclusion. It basically rewrites the rulebook for how to succeed with AI. And here it is, the big takeaway. Value is migrating upward. All the economic energy, all the real, lasting value is flowing away from the bottom layers, the models, the hardware, and is pooling right at the very top. So this is the new reality. This is the game now. The stuff at the bottom, the models, the infrastructure, that's just table stakes. It's the price of admission. The real advantage, the kind that lasts, is built at the top. It's built by owning a specific workflow and the one-of-a-kind data that comes out of it. It's not about which AI you have, it's about how you use it. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own strategy. Is your focus all about getting the best algorithm, the best model, or is it focused on that harder but way more valuable job of owning a unique workflow and the proprietary data that creates real, lasting value? Because honestly, how you answer that question is going to separate the winners from everyone else in this new era.